All right, Algebra 1, welcome back. We are in section 3 today. We are now multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Now, in the past, you guys have done this. You have multiplied and divided rational expressions, but you've done a very simplified version of this. We are now taking full polynomials, 4 of them, many times to be exact, and then multiplying or dividing. Now, up to this point, you have learned how to factor. And I know I've said factoring is extremely important. And this is one of those sections where it is really going to test the ability that you have with factoring. All right. So you guys have to remember some of these key things to do well, not only in this class, but in this chapter, getting close to the end of the year. Watch the note videos. Take detailed notes on these note videos. Do your homework on time. Ask questions in class, even if there's just a bit of a problem that you don't get. Ask a question about it. And that final 5th piece is, what are you willing to do extra above and beyond to make sure that you gather all the knowledge you can to understand this material? All of that really is what it takes. For some students, more. For some students, not quite, because they're just going to grasp it. So, all that being said, let's jump into our notes. We got some good example problems right here. Just remember, you have simplified expressions already. Remember that we are crossing out from top to bottom. And don't forget that it also counts across, still top to bottom. That means at an angle, you could still cross out something, even if it's not perfectly above it. As long as it's something on top to something on the bottom, you can cross that out in a fraction and reduce it. Don't forget, though, that expressions that have a plus sign in between or a minus sign in between, it is all of the expression or none of the expression. You cannot just randomly take an x out. If it says x plus 2, you are either taking out all of the x plus 2 or none of it. You cannot just take out that little x. All right. So I've given you 3 example problems right here. Copy all 3 of these down. The more example problems that you read, then copy and look at, the better it will be. Don't just copy it, read it, then copy it, and then look it over, okay? So right here, this is one where you are not looking at a plus or minus something. This is a straightforward expression, meaning that we could take a look right off the bat and start crossing things out. But if you take a look right next door, this is not a straightforward expression. You are looking at a lot of plus and minus signs. These 2 examples right here and right here are great, so you understand the difference. When it's allowed to immediately cross out, it looks like this. When it looks something like this over here, you are not immediately crossing stuff out. You are treating a problem like this really as 4 miniature individual problems. One here, 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 and here. Simplifying 4 different times, then looking at what could potentially be crossed out, and then simplifying again. Here, we could immediately jump into simplifying. So see what I'm talking about. The 2, the 12, we could reduce that right off the bat. You could cross out the 2, you could take the 12 and make it a 6. You could take this 3, cross it out, take that 6 and make it a 2. So we could start to cross things out and then multiply straight across. We also have x's that we would reduce, right? You could take that x and cross it out, cross out the 2. You could take this entire x squared, cross it out, cross out the 4, and make it a 2. So what I'm saying here is you can immediately start to reduce if your problem looks like this at the beginning. There's no plus signs, there's no minus signs. You can start to reduce. But over here is quite different. You have to simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. Simplify, simplify. When I say simplify, I actually mean factor. Factor things out if you can. And in this case, right up here, factor a trinomial, factor another trinomial, and then look and see what you can simplify. All right? So there's one other example right here. And the only difference between these two examples, right here and right here, is that this one we are using multiplication. Notice it right there. And in this one, we are using division right here. But what you need to remember about division, here's your note. Dividing rational and dividing polynomials, all of those use the same idea as simple fractions. You never really divide fractions. You KFC. You keep, you flip, and you change it to multiplication. So that's what we're talking about with KFC. You keep the entire first expression. You flip the entire second expression, and you change it from division to multiplication. All right, so there's the note part. Let's do some example problems. All right, here we go. Notice this problem. We do not have a plus something or a minus something, so we can immediately start to cross things out, reduce, and then simplify and see if we can reduce anymore. So also don't forget, you can reduce at an angle. So I immediately see that I could take this 2 out and drop that 8 to a 4. They're both divisible by 2. All right, I see that I could cross this 5 out and drop this 15 to a 3. Both are divisible by 5. So right now we've simplified the numbers as far as they can go. Now let's look at the variables. Okay, so I could take this x, cross it out completely, take that 3 and drop it down to a 2. So that was me just focusing on these variables here. Then on this side, I could take this x to the 3rd, drop it out completely, drop that 5 to a 2. All right, so that was just me focusing on these x's over here. I have 3 x's up top and then 5 x's down below. So those 3 cross out, leaving the 2. That's how we got that. Now take a step back and look at what you have left. So what we have left for this part here, all I see is an x to the 2nd power. Now over here on this side, all I see is a 3. So I'm now going to put that next to it, 3x squared. Because remember, with fractions, you just multiply straight across. Then on the bottom, let's see what we have left. Looks like everything here got crossed out. And over here, I see a 4x squared. This is what we have left over so far. Now, what did I say? We simplify, or sorry, we reduce, we simplify, and then we look to reduce again. And we're not done yet. We can actually reduce again. There's x squareds on the top and bottom. They both completely cross out, leaving me with just 3 over 4 as my final answer. So if you look back, this is everything we started with, and it simplifies down to just 3 over 4. All right? There was no plus or minus of anything, so we could jump right into reducing. Now, this one is different. So let's see what we need to do with this. All right. I can see that I need to simplify all 4 of these expressions. None of these expressions are going to stay the way they were given. All of them will be reduced. All right, so let's first focus on this trinomial right here, and we're going to factor it. The x's break down into x and x. The plus minus, that is a plus minus, and this is going to be a 2 and a 1. All right, remember factoring, we have a positive 2 minus 1 creates a positive 1, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so that is factored. That part is taken care of. Now, let's simplify this expression here. I can take an x out of each. They share an x, so take the x out, and then rewrite what you have left over, x plus 2. Now, I'm going to tell you, refrain from crossing things out until all of the expressions have been simplified. So don't cross out yet. We still need to simplify this side here. Let's do that. All right, we got our little multiplication sign. And what I see here is they both share a 2 and an x. So we will be factoring out 2x, and then see what we have left over is x plus a 1. Because we took 2x out, that doesn't become 0. The placeholder value is the 1. So I took the 2 out, and I took one of those x's away, leaving just x. I took the full 2x out. 1 is always there. Okay, now let's simplify the final expression right here. I notice that all 3 terms share a 5. So we're going to write this underneath it. The reason why is we're just saving a little bit of space. Take the 5 out. X squared minus 3x plus 2. So now this trinomial here, we still need to factor. So now I'm going to write my 5, and now we're going to factor it. X and x. Remember, when your signs go minus, then plus, in the parentheses it will go minus, then minus. Okay? Then we're looking at just the factors of 2. It's prime, 2 and 1. So we're going to put a 2 here and a 1 here. And to double check our work, a -2 and a -1 do make a -3. -2 times -1 make a +2. So this all checks out. Now, let's look and see what we can cross out, because there's plenty of stuff to cross out here. All right. We have x minus 2. No other x minus 2s. But we have x plus 2, x plus 2. Over here, x minus 1, x minus 1. Now let's take a look and see what we can simplify. Because we took the 2x out and this x out, we could simplify that. Take the x, take the x. That goes away. So now what you have left over is a 2 parentheses x plus 1. That's on top. And the 5 parentheses x minus 2 on the bottom. This is what you have left over after you have factored, simplified, crossed things out, reduced it all down. That's what you get left with. All right, let's take a look now at example 3. This is division. So step 1 is actually do KFC. So we're going to keep it, then flip the second, then change division to multiplication. All right, so 4x over 5x minus 20 multiplication. We're going to flip the second one. That means bring that denominator up to the top and bring that numerator down to the bottom. And now we're looking at the problem that we can simplify. Let's factor things out. Let's reduce. Okay, 4x can't go anywhere, but 5x minus 20, we could simplify that. All right, so the 4x stays. We can take a 5 out, and then it simplifies to x minus 4. Okay, still multiplication. All right, now this trinomial here, let's see if we can factor that. Okay, again, I took this trinomial and I'm factoring it down to here. Our signs are minus then plus, which means in the parentheses we go minus minus. It's going to be 4 and 2. 4 plus 2 makes 6. That's what we're looking for right there. 4 and 2 make 6. 4 and 2 multiplied make 8. All right, now our expression right here, x squared minus 2x, they both share an x. Factor that out, and what you have left is x minus 2. Now take a look at everything. Look at what we have and look at what we can cross out. X minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 4, x minus 4. This x and this x. Everything crossed out except for 4 over 5. All of that simplified down to 4 over 5. All right, last example problem, here we go. So again, KFC, keep, flip, change. What did they not write? The fact that this is actually over 1. Any whole number, like 6, is really 6 over 1. 2x, well, that's the same thing as just 2x over 1. So we needed to show the 1 so that we can flip it, and you actually see that there is a value there. All right, so we keep the first expression. We're going to multiply and flip the second expression. All right, and maybe, if I could, we'll save a little space here. You guys can copy this down. But I'm going to go ahead and flip that expression. So we're going to have 2x squared minus 5x. 2x squared minus 5x is now going to be on the bottom. And the 1 is going to be on top. And then we're going to change our sign to multiplication. All right, so now let's simplify. Let's look at this expression here, that trinomial, and let's factor it. All right, minus minus, our parentheses go minus plus. Let's try the 2x here and the x here. Remember, educated guess and check, that's okay. The faster you work through your guess and check, the quicker you get to your answer. But it's okay if you make a mistake there, because you got to try out different combinations. All right, now we have 5 is just a prime number. It's going to be 5 and 1, but where do we put that 5? Let's think through this. I think my signs might be in the wrong place. So again, guess and check, guess and check. Let me redo the signs. Let's see if I put the 5 here, and if I put the 1 here. Let's see if that gets us. All right, remember, double check with the double smiles. A -5, 2, that is going to make a -3. All right, so that right there, guys, that's good. That's how you should do it. All right, so it just kind of proves out that the first way I placed it together, it wasn't going to work. But I could see that I was really close. So try it out. Rearrange the stuff, your signs maybe, or the numbers, and then get them in the right spot. So there we go, that factored. And then in my denominator, I still have 6x. The 1 on top, that doesn't change, so that's nice. But over here, what can I take out? I can take out an x. So let's take an x out. And then what we're left with is 2x minus 5. And that's great because I see a 2x minus 5 on top. 2x minus 5. 2x minus 5. All right. The x plus 1 times 1 just stays x plus 1. And this x right here doesn't have anything else to go with, so he's going to go over here. It's going to combine with that 6x and actually make it 6x squared. So here's what we have left over. On top, x plus 1. In our denominator, 6x squared. 6x times x. All right? That right there is our solution. So let's zoom out. There we go. There are your 4 example problems. Bring your questions to class. Copy it all down, guys. Work hard. Keep working hard. All right. I'll see you in the next video.